Thank you for having myself here to interview you. I really appreciate it. It's an honor. Thanks for inviting me into your home.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I'm happy to be with you.
Yeah, thank you. This is obviously an amazing road that you've been traveling all your life. And being in your home, your road started in your home because of the support that you got from your family. Can we talk about that a little bit? Like how you were raised, the support that you had from your dad?
Oh, man. I mean, my childhood has been extraordinary and at the same time hard.
Yeah.
You know, where I watched my older brother play football. Mm-hmm. You know, for organized teams in the community, and I was told I wasn't allowed to play because of my gender. And so that never sat right with me, you know, and my father and I grew up watching football together. I grew up a Jets fan.
Oh, you were a Jets fan?
I'm a serious Jets fan. I've been that way my whole life.
Okay.
You know, and so my dad and I would watch the Jets games every Sunday together. I'd be on the couch with him, watching the game, and we'd be breaking down the game.
Right.
You know, and then I had to watch my brother put on his equipment to play for the Long Island Tomahawks, the very team that said, I can't play because I'm a girl.
Right.
You know, so it never sat right with me. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was hard. I mean, I would play in the streets with the friends.
Of course.
But it wasn't enough.
Couldn't go any farther.
It couldn't go any further.
Right. Did you ever catch yourself, like when your brother wasn't home, just grabbing his uniform and putting it on and be like, you know what, I can do this.
Of course.
I could do that.
I put on that helmet too many times.
Right?
I did. I put on that helmet too many times. And I felt like my brother wasn't even worthy of that helmet.
Right.
I was more worthy to wear that helmet than he was. Mm-hmm. I felt like that.
Yeah, because I think you said it to us off camera, and I think you made a point. We were given the sports.
Yes.
And you had to obtain it through struggle, right? You had to earn it where we were given. And you made a point that we were given a lot more sports and opportunities to do most of the dreams that we grew up on doing, where you were subjected to what the law said that you can do at that time. Yeah. And you're a barrier breaker. It's pretty cool.
Today I am, you know, growing up knowing that I wasn't allowed to do things because of my gender. Right. I feel like today I'm going to fight for women. I'm going to fight for girls to know that we're worthy, we're capable, we're able, and no one's going to tell me or any other girl, not on my watch, that we're not available to do it. We're not able to. Not on my watch.
I agree.
It ain't happening.
100% agree. And from there, obviously, we're here today. You just taken off on a career that was unexpected.
Yes.
Because you never thought what happened a couple of years back would ever happen for women in general. That's why I was saying barrier breaking, which is amazing. Now, you did play pro.
Yes, sir.
Right? And you did it, which is pretty amazing. You did it at an age that most people retire at. You did it at 42 as a rookie.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
It seems crazy that I was a rookie playing pro football when I was 42 years old.
And you still look like you're 21.
Oh, thank you.
That's the craziest.
Thank you. Hey.
There's something in the water up here.
There's something in the water. This is New York water, baby.
No, I love it.
New York in the house. Queens in the house. You know, from being told that I wasn't allowed to play from when I was a kid, boys had the opportunities, the privilege to play. Girls did not.
Right.
So I always wanted to play, but I wasn't allowed. So mind you, fast forward to when I turned 42 years old and I organically found football. I saw women's pro football team tryouts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, clearly this is not right. Like, clearly this is not true.
It's a Facebook gap.
You know,
like
it's an error.
Yeah.
And I read it 3 times over. And it was a Tuesday. And I said, well, I'm going to go to those tryouts on Saturday morning in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. And I thought, and I said to myself, and I meant it, I said, there's no way I'm going to make the team. I'm 42 years old, but I owe it to myself to experience playing organized football that I was told I'm not allowed to play when I was a kid.
Right.
And so I went.
And even they didn't take you seriously. Like
at the beginning,
tell us about the outfit that you.
Oh my God! What
Tell about the outfit that you wore? Because from what I'm hearing, you look like you were supposed to be on the paddleball court.
Yeah, I was doing some movie with Adam Sandler, like stuff. What I was wearing, So when I read the invite for the tryouts, it said that you had to have cleats.
Right.
Why would I have cleats? Mm-hmm. I was told I'm not allowed to play football because of my gender.
Right.
So why would I have cleats? I surely was not going to purchase a pair of cleats to wear one time to try out, knowing I'm not going to make the team.
You feel like it would be a waste of money. Yeah.
So I'm not going to buy cleats. So I wore snow boots. I know it sounds absurd, but for me it was about no excuses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing is going to keep me from being here. Mm-hmm. To participate in seeing women play a sport that I passionately love, football, that I was never allowed to play. So I'm going. Come hell or high water, I'm coming.
Mm-hmm. Show up.
And I wore snow boots, and I wore t-shirts and sweatpants that had holes in it from my crotch to my underarm pits. I didn't care. I was going.
Right.
And I know I look crazy, but in my mind, it wasn't crazy. It was strength.
Right.
It was strength. It was more like nothing's going to hold me back from witnessing this.
Yeah.
And so I got there, and the players were like, "What's wrong with her? What's wrong with this chick?" And I saw that and took it as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Like, you should admire me more. Mm-hmm. That I didn't give up. I could have easily said, well, I don't have cleats and I'm old anyway. I used to smoke cigarettes.
Right.
I could have easily said, I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. But I did it. And for me, it was like, respect me for giving effort.
Right. So what was the feeling when you got the call? When you got the call that said, you're in?
So let me say this. I was at tryouts. I gave it everything I had. I didn't even know who I was. I didn't realize that I was that strong, that I was that resilient. Because we always, especially women, we always dumb ourselves down or belittle ourselves and make ourselves small for the next guy.
Right.
That day, I didn't dumb myself down. I didn't make myself small. I gave it everything I had with every fight in my body. And they said in the tryouts time, they said, we're going to call you the next day or two to let you know if you made the team.
Right.
I was waiting by the phone. And they called me, and I remember, and I'm going to be very transparent. I'm a very open book person.
Bring it.
I don't know if you can handle it or not, but
I think the crowd wants to know.
I don't know.
We're here. We're getting to know Collette.
I got the phone call, and they said, this is the GM, the general manager for this team, this women's pro football team.
Right.
And they said, we love you. We think you're strong. We think you're a leader. We think you're coachable. And we think you're athletic. And I said, great. And they said, but.
I was waiting for that.
But.
You're too good.
They said, you curse too much.
Oh, yeah, they don't curse in football.
Right.
Curse in football.
Exactly.
Football is the most bleeded sport in the world.
Right.
They're very nice to each other.
Right. They're so respectful.
They
and I'm so sorry for
like,
tackling
I'm
you.
about to knock you out.
Right.
But I'm going to take you out to dinner afterwards.
Right. We'll have a beer afterwards, have a steak.
Yes, they are nice.
So they said to me, but you curse too much. And I said, what's the problem with that? There were no kids around. We were in our energy. We were in our endorphins were going. I'm amped up. And they said, well, we're going to have to get back to you. We're going to talk to the owner and to the head coach and ask if this is acceptable. And I said, listen, I can tone it down, but if there are no kids around, I'm going to just let my energy rip.
Yeah, you're on the field playing Iron Man.
Yeah.
Now Iron Woman. and they wanted you to tone down your aggression. It sounded like to me they're trying to build the next A League of Our Own, where they were trying to make women, prissy and etiquette, and you have to be a certain way.
Right.
It's like, this is sports.
It's sports.
Sports is about letting out your energy.
Letting out every feeling, your fuel, your power, no matter where it comes from.
Yeah.
And so they said they would call me back. So now, mind you, remember earlier I said, I'm probably not going to make the team because I'm 42 years old. I smoked cigarettes. I hung out till wee hours of the night. I'm not going to make the team. I just want to experience it. But once I got a taste of it, I now needed to have it. I wanted. It wasn't even about a want. I needed this. So when they said, "We'll let you know," they called back and they said, "Okay, you're in.
Oh man,
you are officially a New York Shark women's pro football team player." I got off the phone. I cried.
Yeah.
I felt exuberant.
Yeah, you're a part of history.
I had a cape.
Yeah.
Like I can see it. Todd, I can tell you right now, I can see the superhero cape flailing in the wind as I stand there like this.
Pretty amazing.
And it was a sign for me and for women, for every woman or for any oppressed person, anybody oppressed. This was a way for me to fight back for us, for the underserved.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
That's like the beginning of what your road is going to.
Yes.
And I'm impressed. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy for the women of this world that, again, so many stepped up and broke another barrier. Because we spoke off on the phone a couple of days ago, and I said one thing that these barriers should have never even been there in the first place.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like, equality should always been there from day one, whether it's from a man or a woman, whatever color you are, it doesn't matter. But unfortunately,
it shouldn't matter, but it does today.
Exactly.
It's sad.
And we still have to live by rules that were created by our forefathers, because they couldn't put forth that people are equal.
And those forefathers are not my fathers.
No, and they're not mine either. They're
not my fathers.
Relatives of men that decided
they're not.
to mock what they
because
understand.
You are somebody's son.
That's right.
I am somebody's daughter.
That's right.
And you're gonna love your son, you're gonna love your daughter and want the best for them and know that any opportunity is available to them if they go for it.
Exactly.
And even if you go for it as a woman or as a black person, you're told you can't do it because you're black or because you're a woman. This was my chance to set it right in my small frame.
Yeah.
That you can do it. And that's how I live my life today.
Yeah, and believe me, talking to you, I can definitely hear that. So let's get to the next chapter, New York Jets.
Yeah.
Because you had an exciting, your first excitement real call was when you made pros with the Ladies League, which is amazing. Now, forget about it being a men's league, a women's league. We're talking about the National Football League.
The highest level of football ever.
Please, doesn't have to be long, but get into how did that happen? Like, how did that
you know what? That's interesting because that happened because I cared about being a better coach for my women's pro football team. Right. So I retired from playing pro football when I was 45 years old.
So 3-year career in the pros.
3-year career.
Okay.
Right. And I retired at 45. I had double knee surgery. I wasn't in my pinnacle state of health. I still love football.
Of course.
And I wanted to reach out to the Jets so I could learn to be a better coach from guess who? The best. The National Football League is the best.
Right.
I wanted on-field access around the coaches so I could learn and bring that back to my women's pro football team.
So you're looking to even just try to get in there like an intern just to...
No! That wasn't even on my mind, Todd. That's my whole point.
Okay.
My point was just to be around the NFL coaches.
Okay.
To learn how they coach so I could bring that back to my women's pro football team. There was no job in mind for me. I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about it. So now I'm coaching the Jets, but I'm around them.
Right.
And so what had happened was it turned into an opportunity for me.
Right.
And if you turn it into an opportunity for me, I'm going to utilize that to empower other women.
Right.
So the point is, you know what, Todd? I think the point is that it was never about me.
Right.
I thought about the next person.
Which is so rare today.
It's unfortunately, you're right, it is so rare.
It's selfless act that you were doing.
I thought about others. It wasn't about me. Yeah. I never went there saying, oh, I'm going to be a coach in the NFL. It was more about, I'm going to learn to be a better coach. And so then when the head coach calls on you, because he sees I'm serious and I know my stuff, if the head coach of an NFL team calls you and he's like, yo, what are you doing this summer? And I'm like, whatever the New York Jets need.
Oh, tell me about it.
Man, listen.
And they needed a coach.
Yeah, they still do. They still do. They still do. But that was an opportunity that I created.
Right.
I wasn't seeking out that opportunity. It was just more about me wanting to be a better coach, to learn from the greatest.
Yeah.
And the NFL is the greatest. I'm a football girl. I grew up in the NFL.
Yeah.
I grew up watching the Jets. I grew up watching the Giants.
And that is the crazy thing about this story, right? You grew up watching the Jets.
Yeah.
Women weren't allowed to play football, do football, nothing.
Yeah.
And you actually hit a dream that most guys would love to do.
Oh, yeah.
Growing up to like the Giants or the Jets and be a part of something.
Yeah.
You killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
I killed 5 or 6 birds with 1 stone.
The crazy part about the journey, and then not only were you a coach, you were good at it.
Yeah.
A lot of people become certain things, but it doesn't mean they're good at it.
Right.
Right. As a woman, and the guy behind the camera even said that women, he feels, would be a lot better at a lot of, certain things.
Yeah.
And I think the reason behind that is because of the struggles that you mentioned that women will put through.
Yeah.
So they had to earn the right to get into that field. So now that when women are exceeding in these fields, it wasn't thrown at them, it's because they earned it.
Yeah.
And when you become a coach, it wasn't because, oh, you're a guy that you're...
Well, you know what? Let me say this to you. Let me stop you and say this. Yeah. The Daily News called me up. I didn't know how they found out that I was a coach. It was very early on in my career.
We all know media leaks.
Media leaks.
Like crazy.
And so they called me up and they asked me a question. They said, you know what? How do you feel to be a coach, a female to coach in the NFL? This is a big deal, Collette. And they said, sorry, coach. It's a big deal, coach. And I said to them, and I thought about it.
Yes.
And I said, to me, this is not a story.
Yeah.
I'll be more proud and happy knowing that one day my life as a female coach in the NFL's history won't be a story.
No, it'll be a legacy. Something to read about for the rest of people's lives, which I think in the whole world's going to think.
You know what, Todd? It happens to be a legacy.
Well,
but you know how many coaches that are men that have coached in the NFL?
Yeah.
There are no stories about that. So why is there a story about me? What I'm saying is that I'll be more proud when a woman that coaches in the NFL won't have to be a story like, oh my God.
Right. Well, the difference between them and you, their stories are out there and told. It's based on them being a football legend or the coach. Your story right now is based on breaking the barrier for women for around the world as much as African Americans for doing something that nobody's ever done. That's your story right now. But what you're doing that we're going to get to right now is what's going to make you a legend. And that's why I'm here. I'm not really here about you being a football coach for the Jets. I'm here because of what you did after the Jets.
Right.
Okay? Because you chose to leave a great organization and a dream job, but it wasn't your dream job.
Wasn't my
Your dream job was your dream because you woke up and realized what you needed to do.
My purpose.
Exactly.
I realized my purpose.
Exactly. And I want to get to when you decided to do that and the conversation quickly that you had with the coach that led us to where you are.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So
this is epic.
So crazy enough, while I was coaching the Jets, I got a lot of emails and letters mailed to me to the Jets facility.
Right.
And it was mainly from fathers saying, I have daughters that never liked football, that would never watch a game with me.
Mm-hmm.
And these fathers would say, I have 2 daughters and I want them to watch football, but they didn't like it. And then they heard about you and now they're watching football with me. So thank you for giving me my daughters back. And I'm like, wow, really? Like, I didn't understand. And I got lots of letters like that, lots of emails and private messengers on Instagram and Facebook. And I had this epiphany, and I was like, you know what? It's not my dream to be a coach. I was never allowed to have this dream. How dare me dream to be a coach in the NFL? When I was 10, 11, 12 years old, and I wanted to play organized football with the boys or with whoever.
Right.
And they told me, no, you can't play because you're a girl. How could I dream to be a coach in the NFL if you never even allowed me to play as a kid?
Right.
So it wasn't my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Was it hard to leave?
Yeah. I mean, think about it.
It's still hard. I had to make that decision. So I leave. I called my father and I said, Daddy, what do I do? Mm-hmm. I said, I want to use this platform to empower other people. Mm-hmm. And my dad said to me, I can't make that decision for you. You got to do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, but I need you to make the call. My dad said, no, I can't.
Right.
And so I went into Coach Bull's office. And I still didn't know what I was going to do. Do I stay or am I leaving to start my own company to empower others? I didn't know. There was no answer. I walked into Coach Bull's office as I did every morning all the time. And we would argue and talk about plays, schematics, alignments, assignments, personnel with football. And I walked in this one morning and he looked at me and he knew something was different. And he said, what is it, Coach? And I said, I got to talk to you. And I said, I got to start my own company to empower Black youth and women. And he said, what? And I said, I got to go because I got to these letters that are coming and girls are being empowered and I got to do something with this. And he took off his glasses. Nobody really knows he wears glasses, but he wears glasses. And he took off his glasses. He leaned back in his chair and he looked at me and he said, Coach, I respected you before, but I respect you so much more right now.
That's when you knew that was it.
I knew I did the right thing. And since that day, I've been doing the right thing, and I started my own company called Believe in You Incorporated.
Yeah, it's great. Man.
And I wake up every day happy, knowing that I can inspire and empower and give hope to the underserved, to people that are disadvantaged. Like I grew up oppressed. My parents grew up oppressed. And we still are today. We don't want to talk about it. It's not politically correct. It's not PC. I'm going to talk about it because unless we resolve the problem, it will never be fixed. I'm here to be a beacon of hope for somebody else.
And you're doing it.
I'm trying.
You got testimonials, you got people you are helping. We're going to see some of these kids that get to be helping real soon.
Yeah.
Real soon. I'm proud of you. I'm sure the world's proud of you. you have so many stories. You got so many future stories that are coming. We see a huge future for you in your organization. Me personally, like you said, it was very hard for you to leave the Jets. I don't think the Jets will ever leave you because you've been a fan from day one.
Yeah.
Right from day one.
My whole life.
You've been a New Yorker, so New York's never going to leave you. That grind obviously is in. That's built from New York. But me personally, I would like to see your foundation believe to be the official nonprofit of the New York Jets.
I didn't think about that really. I mean, yes, well, I would too.
I'm saying it. You know, I don't get, I'm sorry I'm putting you guys on the spot. Sorry I'm putting you on the spot. But there are so many charities and nonprofits out there that a lot of companies donate to because you have to get a 20% write-off. My personal opinion, you now have a nonprofit that wasn't just built from your heart. It was built from the inspiration because you became a New York Jet coach. And that inspired you to inspire others to live their dreams.
The Jets gave me.
So I think it's only great karma that hopefully somebody from the Jets organization can be like, you know what? We should definitely have this as our official nonprofit because she's doing everything that every one of these players right now have done, even though it was not handed to them, but they grew up in football. But now you're showing the world that if you believe in yourself, anything is possible.
Yes.
And that should be the Jets and every NFL team's mind.
I agree.
And if I can even, not just the Jets, I would love for your organization to be the official NFL or one of many NFL nonprofits that can partner on games, events, charity organizations.
I like that.
I think it would be a great. And
I like that.
If you guys out there right now are hearing this, clap it up if you guys agree with this.
Leaving You Incorporated.
Exactly. But before we go, if there is something that you can leave us and leave to this world, something inspiring, what can you tell people right now?
To believe in you. To believe in you and know that you're worthy. To know that you're enough. To know that you're adequate. To know that you are from greatness. To know that if you want it, you will get it, no matter what obstacles you have to go through. You deserve it. You deserve to be happy. Go get it. Game on. It's the start of the second half. It's a new game, baby. Get it. Get it.
He is the most interesting man in the world.
I'm not always on YouTube, but when I am, I make sure I'm subscribed to FaceTime with Todd Wharton. Be thirsty, my friends.